we're pleased to be here today to talk about a very special project here at the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History. With us today, my name is Jim Walther. I'm the director of the museum. Clay Perkins is with us. Clay is a historian and philanthropist, a collector of history and interested in bringing history to the public. And we have with us David Vana. David is the owner of Vana LLC Fire Tower Restoration Incorporated. Working together, we're doing a very interesting project. We're erecting a replica of the tower and the cabin that was on the top, as well as the gadget, the weapon that was tested for the public to enjoy.
The ghost of the Trinity Test hangs over the Manhattan Project history. And it just popped into my head last spring that the site would be a lot more interesting if it had a tower there, a replica, because there's not much there. So I came up to Albuquerque, sat down with Jim, and proposed putting it here, and it took him about 30 seconds to say yes. Jim has been critical, and all his preparations, marvelous job, and then his hands-on work on top of that. In fact, I'm not sure you're really the director because you haven't been directing recently.
Doesn't seem like it.
He's pretty busy.
Anyway, David Vana is here, and he has been marvelous in putting the sticks together that would be very hard to do unless you got the experience.
The original Trinity Tower was made by a manufacturer that also built Forest Service observation towers. So we found one that was very similar to that by a different manufacturer that I had harvested, as I say, down in Alabama. These towers are being eliminated because there's not as much need for them anymore, and I salvage them, restore them, and find new homes for them for public and private clients. And then Jim called. So we narrowed it down and developed parameters for what would represent the tower, and I supplied a tower that has the original patina that indicates it's been around a while, and then the museum is recreating the cabin on top.
Yes.
That was where they hooked it all up and detonated it. So we took the tower we had, laid it out on our property at my shop, assembled a section of it, and then made the modification to allow the cabin to sit on top, because the cabin's bigger than the normal cabin, and shipped it out here to the museum, and now we're putting it together.
And the men that are doing the work regularly work for you. This is not just some pickup crew.
Right. This is a crew of experienced metal workers, tower workers that are familiar with what I do.
Let me also mention that we've had a lot of great support, not only Clay's support for this project and David's support, because David also was able to work with the museum to make sure we could do this effort, but we had a lot of in-kind contribution.
Right.
You know, the museum is beloved by many here in Albuquerque. It's the only one of its kind in the world. So we had construction support from enterprise builders. They excavated the massive holes for the footings that go under this thing. We had Harris Rebar Company come in and provide the heavy rebar and tie it all together. We had custom grading come back and compact the site. And so we've had a lot of very important in-kind support.
All necessary to put a tower of this size up, because the foundations are designed to hold the tower down in the high winds.
That's right. It's not the weight, it's the lever of the big high tower with a building on the top of it.
An oversized building on
Yes.
that can try and rip it out of the ground.
Right, and we've built this building, and we think it weighs a little over a ton, and it's going to go on the top 90 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain States Crane will be coming to lift it up, once again, in kind, support for the museum, and so they're doing that gratis, and so we're really pleased with that. So we thank all of these companies for their help to make this come to fruition and make it possible. Well, we thank you for all of this. David, it's a pleasure to have you with us and to work with you.
It's a great experience to be here helping get Clay's idea up at your museum.
Excellent.
Couldn't get better people.
Thank you.
Thank you.